Hey guys, and welcome back to my new series of Painting the Island. I am PrimeRose and this is my channel. I've been waiting for this series for a long time. I don't know if you still remember, before I ended the first season, I actually said that I was taking into consideration what you guys said. So the theme for this season is iconic buildings in Madeira. Not only iconic, but in a way also to demonstrate how beautiful Madeira is with its buildings on site. And I will start off with the little chapel that is very iconic from São Vicente. So, okay, let's do this. It is now impossible to determine with approximate accuracy the year in which the settlement and colonization of the land that currently constitutes this parish began. We only know that the north side of the island was not populated in the years closest to the discovery. This is because the south coast of Madeira has always had more fertile land and more temperate climates than the north coast. It was only with the increase of settlers and the prosperity that occurred due to the sugar culture that colonization was extended and widened through the valleys, mounts and slopes of the mountains in the interior, and sometimes the folk would even be looking for difficult and almost inaccessible places. It is said that the first cultivated lands in the north of the island were Faial and Porto da Cruz, so we can only assume that only explorations were made in other places in the north of the island, such as the valley of São Vicente. A small hermitage was consecrated to Saint Vincent, who named the place where it was built, after which the new parish was created. We do not know the name of its founder and the year of its construction, but it must be linked to the first farms that were built here. The creation of a village on the northern slope was an increasingly pressing need, given to the economic and social development acquired in the wine production. The administrative dependence of the headquarters of the captaincy in Mexico greatly harmed the rights of the people, thus forced to move to Mexico to resolve the most diverse issues. Access by land or sea was difficult, if not impossible, leaving the populations of this area at the mercy of the whims of the lords of Mexico. Therefore, the need to turn São Vicente into a village was a desire of all the people of the northern slope. It was the only method to create a better government in the area and to motivate the people to progress. By the way, did you saw that color change on the blue part? That's what happens when I have to paint various days on the same painting. Well, that, and also because the slope was completely shaded and it took me, half an hour just looking at the canvas to figure out how in hell I was going to give the texture that the mountain needed. Anyway, back to the story about São Vicente. To achieve the right of a town title, it was necessary, in addition to the intended economic and social requirements, that the request would be approved by the captain, the magistrate, the bishop, and the crown. And São Vicente fought for 50 years against Mexico's centralism and only stopped when the king finally recognized them. The king, moved by the complaints presented by the inhabitants of this place, recommended in 1714 to his magistrate on the island that he investigate the validity of such accusations and reasons. And back to the painting. Okay, do you see the difference between the dark shaded mountain from the sunny side one? While the painting is not finished, the colors seem out of place, right? But in a couple of minutes, you'll see the big impact they will make. Ready? Okay, back to the drama story about Mexico and São Vicente. Mexico replied that the loss of São Vicente would harm the interests of the headquarters of the captaincy, attacking the accessibility of the place of São Vicente, as well as of its people, and always portraying the loss of Santa Cruz to the captaincy. Mexico thus kept São Vicente under his authority until Queen Mary of Austria, in the period of regency after the king's illness, elevated the place of São Vicente to the category of village in August 23, 1743. Unfortunately, the elevation did not have the force of law, and it was necessary for King John V to legitimize it by another dating then to the August 25th, 1743. And back to the painting. Okay, see this area here that I'm about to finish? Okay, that is one of the terrains that I've talked about, and it is being used for the vineyards. This area right here was another pickle for me to decipher the right color to paint. At the beginning, when I saw the color that I've mixed, I really thought that it was wrong, but after painting the rest of the canvas, it made more sense. And that's what's funny about painting from a photo. You never know how it's actually gonna look until you're finished. The colors balance themselves in a way that only work when you see the whole picture. Okay, let's back again for more story about the place, okay? With this new town, the northern slope might finally have the municipal autonomy necessary to create a liberating breach from the excessive centralism and oppressive governance of Mexico. But São Vicente did not manage to elevate itself immediately to the municipality due to financial difficulties, preventing the creation of the town hall, jail, and pillory. But living in São Vicente was not an easy task. Like the rest of the island, they also suffered a lot from oppression, floods, to even hunger periods. One example of that was in April 12, 1868, where riots occurred in the village of São Vicente that unfortunately led to the destruction of all important documents from the municipal archive, thus erasing the historical memory of the municipality between 1744 and 1868. That means that today we do not know how the people from this village ruled for the first century as an autonomous town. The only way to find information about this lost century is to fish around the neighboring municipalities' archives in search of bits and pieces of documentation. But more about the chapel of Our Lady of Fatima. To understand the choice of the patron saint of this chapel, it is necessary to understand its origin. In 1917, when the World War I is raging across Europe and showing no signs of approaching a peaceful conclusion, the Pope Benedict XV turned to the Virgin Mary. He also asked all the people to plead with him for peace in the world. 8 days later, the Virgin Mary appears in Fatima to 3 shepherd children and continued to appear over the months until October 13 of the same year. In this last apparition, there were 50,000 curious people accompanying the little shepherds. This story is so famous, and it is because of it that almost all Catholic Portuguese believers have a statue of Our Holy Mary in their home. In fact, Fatima is such an important place for the Portuguese culture that during the time Portugal was ruled by Salazar, there were 3 important F's for the Portuguese: family, football, and Fatima. Okay, and back to the painting again. You see this little section here where the little chapel of Our Holy Mary of Fatima is? Wanna know how long it took to paint? Leave a comment down below about it to see if you actually guess it, okay? Okay, so this chapel is white, but nothing is actually white when you see it from far away. In fact, the actual white you see me painting, well, not the first layer, but the second one, is the color of the sky that is being reflected by the chapel. And the less light it shines on the wall, the bluish the walls get. And imagine myself painting and not getting confused by this. Ugh. So the colors of the wall that is a little more shaded is actually the same color of the one that is being illuminated, but with a pinch of blue color mixed. Okay. I am now going to tell you how long it actually took me to paint this tiny section. It took me 3 hours Can you believe it? Let's continue learning a little more about this chapel. This chapel was built to mark the end of World War II on May 13, 1945, with the aim of bringing peace to this county. The bells and clock were later placed with donations from abroad. The ringing of the 7 bells made the Ave of Fatima heard and called for prayer and celebration for many years. And the clock helped farmers to regulate watering times. The bells stopped ringing over time, until in 2000 they rearranged the existing mechanisms, introducing new technologies. It is a Gothic-style building with a clock that plays the hours throughout the town of São Vicente. The last day that I've painted this, I spent about 10 hours working, looking, mixing colors, and continued painting. So while doing the last details for the painting, which are these ones in black, I was already a little bit tired. Well, I looked at the painting and it really looked finished, so I started cleaning everything up. I took the painter's duct tape out and I wasn't finished. I forgot the last pointer from the clock. Okay, I enjoy this painting. It looks so cute. How it wait, what is that? It's so adorable. I really enjoyed the whole painting, the way it looks. You can leave in the comment section down below what you think about this painting, and also if you have one place that you find that has really interesting story behind it. And remember to smash that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do this so you can see the upcoming videos. I'll see you next time. Bye!